Happy Tuesday, Career College Prep, and also a happy second day of Spirit Week. Yay! It's Twin Day. Now, if it worked out right, I should be at another part of this screen, either on this side or this side, trying to imitate myself being my own twin, because I am not going to be in office hours today. Bring down the applause and the cheers. You still got a lot of work to do. But what I did for you, for my guys, is I included in the video all the answers for all the work, everything that needs to be matched, everything that you can double check on your own, but everything that is answered, that I want answered, is explained and answered on the video. I mean, yes, there is one part I would love for you to do on your own, which is the exit ticket, which I'm giving 15 Thrive-point incentive. So if you just do all the work and do the exit ticket, 15 extra Thrive points. But yes, definitely 5 Thrive points for just matching all the work that is on the screen and handing it in. Again, yes, you are thinking, because as you're writing things down, you're listening to what's being said, right? So you're getting it in your brain, right? And then you're writing it down, and then you're taking a picture, and then you're sending it to me, and you're getting Thrive points, 5. And then when you do the exit ticket on your own, you're getting more Thrive points, 15 more. All right, I really hope this twin thing that I'm trying with the video, if there's another picture of me somewhere, I really hope it's working. So please get your pencil and paper ready. Oh, also, for attendance, you have to stop in to either Ms. Brotman or Ms. King's class. Let them know, I know, Mr. Bautista already told me in the video what I got to do, and just let them know that you showed up, and so that way you can get marked present, and then go back to the video. If you want to stay in their room, say, can you put me in a breakout room? So that way I can watch Mr. Bautista's video and get all these Thrive points, as well as learning the material. All right, and then email me any questions if you have, and I will see you on Wednesday. All right, keep watching. All right, let's get started. As you can see, the page on the screen is from yesterday. That's right. But what you're also going to notice is that the answers are already circled. So this is when you get to take out yesterday's work and check your work, or you can write it out for the first time and match my work. Again, you just have to write in the answers for the first couple of questions. So number 1 is C, right? What are we doing? We look at the directions. We're finding the rule. All right, we located the pattern. Once you find the pattern, you find the rule. Excellent. So number 1, the rule was adding 4. For number 2, the rule was adding 6. 3, the rule was subtracting 11. Number 4, the rule was subtracting 10. 5, the rule was adding 9. 10, the rule was adding 3. If you have to push pause at any time to match the work, do so. Moving forward. Number 7, the rule was adding 10. Number 8, the rule was subtracting 7. Number 9, the rule was subtracting 10. Okay, we are now at the next section from that worksheet, follow the rule review. And we were identifying the rule and filling in the blanks. One thing I'm going to add on top, right, is our input is X and our outputs are Y. Right, that we're used to seeing it like that when we're dealing with tables and coordinate planes. So I'll put that on top. So number 1, we found that the rule was X plus 5. So we filled in the blank. From 85, it goes to 90. For number 2, the rule was X times 9. So 4 times 9 is 36. And for number 3, the rule was X plus 12. So 77 plus 12 is 89. For number 4, the rule is X plus 1. So they asked us to fill in the x. That's why the number 18 is 1 less than 19. I hope you realize that. The rule for number 5 is x minus 13. So our x was 43. And the last one in this page, the rule is x divided by 8. Okay, so when we look at the blank, what number divided by 8 gives me 2? The answer is 16. Okay, here the charts are just written just in a different format. Same concept, same question. We identify the rule and then fill in the blank. For number 7, the rule is x times 5. All right, so it's what number times 5 gives me 10? 2 goes in the blank. For number 8, the rule is x times 4. So what number times 4 gives me 40? 10. Number 9, excuse me, the rule is x divided by 7. So if the y is 2, and again, I'm looking at the one that has the blank, or as you can see on the screen, the one that has the green number on top or beneath the other number, filling in the blank. So again, number 9, what the rule is x divided by 7. So what number divided by 7 would result in 2? Exactly, 14. For number 10, the rule is x times 2. They give you the x is 5, so 5 times 2 is 10. Number 11, the rule is x divided by 6. They give us the x is 30. 30 divided by 6 is, very good, 5. Number 12, the rule is x minus 3. They give you the x is 62. 62 minus 3 is 59. Push pause again if you have to. Match the work, write down the answers. What is the rule and what number filled in the blank? Excellent job. Okay, now we are heading into the main part of our lesson for today. This is 6.12. So this is the other document that was in Google Classrooms. So I hope that you have that in front of you. If you do not, please push pause. Get a piece of paper, get your ruler for drawing your coordinate planes, and ready to work. Okay, so number 1 says, write a rule for the line that contains the points 0 3/4 and 2.5 3.5. Now I've labeled those points A and Z below. You can see if you look at the table next to the coordinate plane, you can see those points A and Z. I put it there because, 1, this is how we're used to seeing it at this point. We're used to seeing our x next to our y, and the question says to write a rule for the line that has those points. Right? So the rule is from x to y, x then y. So let's take a look at point A. X is 0 and y is 3/4. So when the numbers go up, right? What are we thinking? What should we be thinking? What operations can cause a number to go up? Addition or multiplication, right? So let's try addition, and let's see if the pattern sticks, if that becomes the rule. So if it's 0 to 3/4, we are adding 0 plus 3/4, right? 0 plus 3/4 is equal to 3/4. So we're trying to see if adding 3/4 is going to be the pattern. Let's try 2.5. Let me clear this up. And let's add 2.5 plus 3/4. Again, I'm writing 2.5 plus 3/4 to see if adding 3/4 is our rule. So 2.5 plus 3/4. Now we know we can't add fractions without common denominators, so I'm going to come up with an equivalent fraction for 1/2, which is 2 2/4 plus 3/4, which gives me 2 5/4 And we know 5/4, when, that's an improper fraction, when two turned into a mixed number, becomes 2 plus 5/4 becomes 1 and 1/4, which when you add those two together becomes 3 and 1/4, which is the y. What does that mean? That means we found our rule. Because when you find the pattern, you find the rule. So let's remind ourselves, what was that pattern again, right? What did we add? If the rule was adding, what were we adding to 0? And what did we add to 2.5? We added 3/4. Okay, so write a rule. The rule is x plus 3/4, or add 3/4 to x. Excellent. Match my work. I'm going to clear off the board so we can continue. While I'm clearing this part off, you should be matching my work, or you're still drawing out your coordinate plane or your table and writing the points. Excellent job. So now that we have our rule, A says identify two more points on this line. Identify 2 more points on this line. When they tell you to identify, you are coming up with your own numbers, and then you're following the rule. So why don't we keep it simple? We already have 0 and 2.5 for x. Keep it simple, guys. 3 and 4. Match my work. And we find the y by following the rule. What is the rule? Very good. We already answered that in first part of question 1. Add 3/4 to x. So 3 plus 3/4 would be 3 and 3/4. And then 4 plus 3/4 will be 4 and 3/4. Now I'm going to find a different color for these so that way we can we can draw them on our, no, I don't like that. We can draw them on our coordinate plane. So here we have 3 and 3/4. That is very similar to the last color. 3 and 3/4. Sorry, 3 and 3/4. And the last point we will be plotting is 4, 4, and 3/4. Now, I'm going to draw this on a larger coordinate plane. I already did it here, and I already marked points A and Z. Okay. So we have A, which is 0.3/4, Z, right, which is 2.5, 3 and 1/4. Then we have our point B, which we started at 3/4, and C is 4, 4 and 3/4. Now, remember, when you have a coordinate plane, what is my rule, second rule after reading the question? Exactly, it is we number all marks. No line is unnumbered. And the way the coordinate plane was written, they were separated between 0 and 1 was 4 spaces. So with that way, we know that each line is a 4th. So in black on the coordinate plane, I put from 0, next to 0 is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then 1 is the same as 4/4. But I also want you to pay attention to why are there also numbers in green. Think about it for a second. Why under 2/4 did I write 1/2? Why under 1 2/4 I wrote 1 1/2? Or under 2 2/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 3 1/2. I'm sorry, 3 2/4, 3 1/2, 4 2/4, 4 1/2. I wrote those because those are equivalent fractions. 2/4 and 1/2 is the same fraction. 1 2/4 is the same as 1 1/2. Because we have coordinates that we're plotting, like 2 1/2. If you look at point Z, which is our red dot, 2 1/2, right? When I wrote it in, I had 2/4. I didn't have 2 1/2. I have to remember that I also have equivalent fractions. Okay, so let us label point B. So we get our X. Let's put our X and our Y axes. Let's label those. Okay, so our X coordinate is 3. So we find that from our X axis. I underlined 3. And we're going up to 3 and 3/4. So I found my 3 3/4. I'm going to draw a line just so I don't miss the part where they intersect. Right? And where they intersect, that is the point. Now remember, we have to draw a dot on the part where both lines intersect. It needs to be a dot, and then you label B. Last one is point C, which is 4 for our X. So there's my X. And my Y is 4 3/4. So I find the 4 and count up to 3/4. There's that line. And I'm going to draw up on 4 until it meets. There it is. Draw the dot and label it C. Match my work. Make sure all this is written. Excellent job. Let's make sure we answered the question fully. Identify 2 more points on the line. We did that. Draw the line on the grid. Okay, so now this is where you take your ruler and you have the points A, Z, B, and C. Now my line is not going to be as nice as yours. If I draw it this way, right? Because I do not have a ruler, but I'm going to do my best. There's my line. Okay, continue to match the work. Push pause if you have to. Doing a great job. Okay, question number 2 says create a rule for the line that contains the point 1 1/4, 3 3/4. Okay, so before anything, let's set this up in a way that we know we're used to seeing it. So that way, we can already apply what we know. So right away, I'm starting with a box. And I'm so used to seeing things like X, Y, and then our coordinate pair X, comma, Y. Match my work. Right? This is how we're used to seeing things, seeing our tables. And now we always know that it's X then Y. Right? So I can put my X's there. So I know which are my X coordinates and my Y coordinates. And now I'm going to fill in the box. Let's put some lines in here. So when my X is 1, my y is 1/4. When my x is 3, my y is 3/4. Okay, so now let's start applying what we know. When x is 1, y is 1/4. The numbers are going down. Am I subtracting or am I dividing? All right, when the numbers go down, you're either subtracting or dividing. We are dividing by 4. That is the rule. Create the rule. X, let me change the color. X divided by 4. Okay, so let's draw in our coordinates, our coordinate pairs, right? So that's 1, 1/4, 3, 3/4. Okay, so let's come up with 2 more points. That's our rule. We have the rule. Check, identify 2 more points, and then we are going to plot them. Okay. We have 1, we have 3. We can do 4 and 5. So 4 divided by 4, right, which is 4/4, which is the same as 1. And 5 divided by 4 is 5/4, which is the same as 1 and 1/4. Okay, right, it all depends how you want to draw your line. So let us write the coordinate pairs. You're matching my work. 4, 1, 5, 1, and 1/4. Okay, right. What I did here on this box, right, I just put it here. So we can rewrite it here. It's good to practice writing things over and over. Our x was 4. Sorry, x was 4. Y is 1. 4, 1. When x is 5, y is 1 and 1/4. And then our coordinate pair is 5, 1 and 1/4. And then we draw the line on the grid. You can go back to the one we were working on already. And you can draw those points there. So we're going to call, since we have G and H, we can call this one, I'm trying to think of my alphabet, guys. A, B, C, D, E, E and F. All right, so this will be E, this will be F. So let's go back to our original grid. So now we're going to add, let's change these colors. So point E, F, G, and H. These are the points we are adding now. E is 1 and 1/4, 3 and 3/4. The next one was 4, 1, and the last one was 5 and 1/4. Okay, let us do it. Let's start with E. Our x is 1, y is 1/4, which is right on top. That's that first line on the y-axis, and we're going to call that E. F is 3 and 3/4, so my x is E. So, sorry, my x is 3. And I'm going to go up 3/4. Now, because I know, let me get rid of this line real quick. Because I know that my X's, all my marks go up by 1/4, I can simply just count up 3, and that'll be 3/4. So if I'm starting on 3, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, guys. My pen is acting up. So that is F. Okay, now my G is 4, 1. Let me get rid of this line. Just clean this up as much as I can. Right? Okay. So my F is 3, 3/4. Did that? G is 4, 1. That's G. Ooh, sorry about that. What's going on with my G's? And H is 5, 1, and 1/4. So here's my 5 on the x-axis, going up to 1 and 1/4. And that is H. And now I'm going to do my best. You guys take your rulers and draw a straight line connecting all those points. Excellent job. Push pause if you have to so you can match the work. So right now on your coordinate plane, you have points, 2 lines. The first line has points A, Z, B, and C. And the second line beneath it has points E, F, G, and H. Excellent job. Take a deep breath. Let it out. You guys are doing great. So now we're going to write a rule for a line that passes through the origin and lies between BC and GH. Before we get there, hold on, let's take a look at this page first. Let's skip number 2, we'll get back to that. Let's do number 3 together. So we're creating rules because now we should be more comfortable with creating rules, right? What is creating a rule? Let's look at some of the rules that we've done. Create a rule, x divided by 4. Where's the rule for number 2? For number 1, the rule was add 3/4 to x, right? That's just to refresh your memory what rules are. Right? If we want the numbers to go up, we add or multiply. When the numbers go down, we subtract or divide. All right, so number 3 says create a rule for a line that contains the point 1/4, 1 and 1/4 using the operation or description below. So all of these points, all of these letters, A, B, C, and D, that you see these boxes, they are all going to contain 1/4, 1 and 1/4 as a point. So we are coming up with a rule that goes from 1/4 to 1 and 1/4 using, let's start with A, using addition. What do I add to 1/4 to get 1 and 1/4? It's probably the easiest, but think about it. What am I adding to 1/4? So basically that's saying 1/4 plus what equals 1 and 1/4. Okay, you already figured it out, it's plus 1. So the rule is x plus 1. So now pick any points, right? Let's do 1 and 2, or yeah, let's just do 1 and 2 for this one. 1 and 2. And then you're just doing x plus 1. So what's 1 plus 1? 2. What's 2 plus 1? 3. And then you write in the coordinate pairs right next to it. Push pause, match my work, go. Okay, while you're matching my work, if you didn't push pause, I'm going to clear up the space on the bottom that I was drawing this out, because now we're heading towards, and let's change the color, we are heading towards the next question. Let's do this one. Let's do B. A line parallel to the x-axis. This is something new. I'm going to draw a mini diagram of a coordinate plane. Here's my x-axis, right? X is on the bottom. A line parallel, think about what we do with our arms to make parallel lines, right? Which way does it go? Very good. It's going to go in the same direction. So even before writing any numbers, I know that that's the direction, that's where the parallel line goes. So if I remember, I can see that they all have the same coordinate, the same y coordinate. All of these, I can put points anywhere, and each of them are going to have the same y coordinate. When a line is parallel to the x-axis, the y-coordinate stays the same. Okay, I said it in like 3 different ways. That's because the rule for a line parallel to the x-axis has to have the same y-coordinate. So what does that mean? That means the rule is y. If y stays the same, what is our y-coordinate that is given? What is the y-coordinate that is given? 1 1/4, right? We look at a point, 1 1/4. So y is equal to 1 1/4. So we can do the same thing where we keep points for our x 1 and 2. So if we connect those, what is our y? If y is equal to 1 1/4, what is our y when x is 1? Excellent, 1 1/4, because the rule says y is equal to 1 1/4. So when x is 2, what is y equal to? What does the rule say? Y is equal to 1 1 1/4. Now let's write in our coordinate pairs. 1 1/4, 2 1 1/4. Excellent job. Let's skip C for a second because we're on a parallel line kick right now. So let us do a line parallel to the y-axis. Let me draw another mini coordinate plane right there. Here is our y-axis. So if it's parallel to the y-axis, I know that every point on this line parallel is going to have the same which coordinate? It's going to have the same x coordinate. Every line. So what is our x coordinate that they give us? 1/4. So what is our rule? X is equal to 1/4. Take that in, right? Because wherever we put the y, see these points? Wherever I'm going to put the y coordinate, the x coordinate is always going to stay the same. So for everything that says x, what is our x coordinate for V? 1/4. What is our x coordinate for W? 1/4. And we can pick any point for y. I don't care if it's 2 and 4. All right? Because the x always stays the same when it's parallel to the y-axis. So let's write in our coordinate pairs, 1/4, 2, 1/4, 4. Excellent job. Last one on this page. Multiplication. Multiplication. So that's saying 1/4 times what equals 1 1/4. How many 1/4 are in 1 1/4? How many fourths are in 1? 4/4, right? Because 4/4 is a whole. So this one's 4, right? 1 is 4, and 1/4 is 1 more. 4 plus 1 is 5. So 1/4 times 5 gives me 1 1/4. Let me say that again. We're doing C, multiplication. 1/4 times what number gives me 1 1/4? Well, 1 1/4 is 5/4. So 1/4 times 5. So what is my rule? X times 5. All right, so let's, same, we can do 1 and 2 for x. So when x is 1, 1 times 5 is 5. When x is 2, 2 times 5 is 10. Let's write in our coordinate pairs. 1, 5, 2, 10. Excellent job, guys. Excellent job. Match my work, push pause, take 3 deep breaths, and then continue. All right, you guys are doing such a great job. Multiplication with addition. This is E. And we're finding, so, okay. We're doing a double step rule now. So we have to multiply and add to get from 1/4 to 1 1/4. So if I know that I multiply 1/4 times 5 to get 1 1/4, I want a number that's less than 5. So let's try 4. 1/4 times 4 equals, okay, that gives me 4/4, which is the same as 1. So if I have 1, 1 plus what gives me 1 1/4? 1/4. Let me say that again. We're doing E, we're coming up with a double step rule, multiplication and addition. So I multiplied first, 1/4 times 4 gives me 1. And I still need 1/4 because, again, I'm going from 1/4 to 1 1/4. So 1 plus 1/4 gives me 1 1/4. So what is my rule? I multiply, right? Match my word. Multiply by 1 and then add 1/4. Okay, so if x is 1, multiply by 1, add 1/4. 1, let's see, does that work? You multiply, multiply by 4. Multiply by 4. That's what I was like, wait a second. We multiplied by 4. 1/4 times 4 gives me 1. Good. So we multiply by 4, add 1/4. So x times 4, 1 times 4 is 4. Add a 4th, 4 and 1/4. Let's write in our pair, 1, 4 and 1/4. And let's do 2. All right, so 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1/4 is 8 and 1/4. So 2, 8, and 1/4. Excellent job. Rewind this part. Right, this one was more took more thought because it is a double step rule. Now this is the exit ticket. All that I'm requiring to get full participation grade for today is up to this point. Everything that we've covered up to this point. If you want 10 extra Thrive points, submit this exit ticket. If you want 10 extra Thrive points, you don't have to, but if you want those 10 extra Thrive points, push yourself. I dare you to challenge yourself. You know what? Never mind. 15 Thrive points. If you hand in this exit ticket, 15 Thrive points. All right, guys. Have a great rest of the day. See you on Wednesday.